Hey folks, UltimatDjz here for Ark Fall Day, October 5th, 2021. They're calling this one Duality, and it's got, and it is somewhat fitting. This Ark, the Federation finally takes a backseat, and the Romulans and Klingons are front and center. While this Ark offers a feature specifically for the Romulans and Klingons, the officers are for all. And of course, that's usually where we start. So we'll start there today, as always. But this is a very, very different story this month. So buckle up, get your typing fingers ready to put your question and your comments in the video below, in the section below the video, and let's get going. First, we look at our second Borg mining officer to be released. This is Borg 4 of 10, and to my surprise, he is not Borgified Barrett, but actually Stonn. This is exciting for a couple of reasons, but most notably, his officer ability being just like normal Stonn in that it boosts cargo capacity, and like 3 of 10, it does so at an improved rate of ability as compared to regular Stonn. Taking a look at his officer card from STFC.space, you'll see his captain's maneuver here. Like Stonn, is to mine ore. Interestingly, though, he's also an engineering officer, as is 10 of 10. So getting maximum synergy here probably isn't the best scenario for you, but even still, it's a mega bonus amount as compared to before. Let's check it out. If you run regular Stonn with the Tribble, and one side of double bar synergy you're getting with a tier 1 Tribble, let's assume, 80% from the Tribble and 70% from Stonn with one side of double synergy for a total of a 150% boost to ore. This is compared to Stonn, only at 100% with double-sided synergy. So now you take 4 of 10. Let's put him with the Tribble and a single side of double bar synergy. Now you're at 80% from the Tribble at tier 1, plus 60% of 4 of 10 at base, plus the Tribble single bar synergy at 30%, and the other side could be 3 of 10 or any other double synergy Borg officer, and that's going to get you 45% more. Total bonus just from officers, 215% boost to ore, compared to the absolute best scenario at 150% before 4 of 10. Plus all your research, ship abilities, exocomps, and TC buffs. This new set of mining officers is just dope. Whether you love mining or hate mining, it's good for you to either get more faster or just get it over with faster, whichever applies to you. Now you can see from the ranks chart that undoubtedly we do see independent credits and active nanoprobes required for upgrades, so be looking at those assignments awfully carefully these days. Prioritize the officers that you promote. It doesn't look like the active nanoprobe economy nor the independent credit economy are getting any easier anytime soon. Now, let's take a look at our second epic officer of the Ark. Yes, it's another epic, and no rares or uncommon officers this month. Scopely, what gives, man? Uncommon officers do exist, remember? Remember those? The green ones, easy, cheap. Some of them with really good niche abilities, like Tasha Yar should have been. I'm just saying. Okay, all right, reining it in. The second epic officer, Honor Guard Worf. The first thing to notice is his synergy group, Kittimer's Revenge. This is a new group, so with no other uncommon or common officers being released, Honor Guard Worf has no synergy potential this month. Keep that in mind, but his captain's maneuver still feels somewhat weak to me in comparison to officers like Sharvanik, who's also armor piercing on her officer ability, but it's 1600% of health when she's maxed. This ability is definitely more Worf-worthy, I think, since it's based in combat, but statistically nowhere near as good as other options. In PvP combat, Worf increases armor piercing by 30% of the crew's attack when the ship scores a critical hit. Interesting to note, it's not health like Sharvanik, but attack, which is more in line with Kang's stat feeder, which is attack, but Kang is increasing accuracy. So Kang is an anti-interceptor with a stack of attack. Honor Guard Worf is going to be anti-battleship, but instead of a health attack, it's an attack stack. And wildly less than what Sharvanik can provide. I do not see the word cumulative here, so the way that I read this is on a critical hit, your armor piercing will get boosted statistically by 30% of the crew's attack. Since there is no synergy yet, 30% is where you're stuck, but eventually you'll see that synergy get boosted by 10% per side up to a max of 50%, still wildly lacking the traditional anti-ship type of officer. Even with the Tier 1 Sharvanik, she's 100%, and Worf will eventually get you 50%. Now, interesting to note, based on the captain's maneuver, I think it's safe to say that other officers will come in this synergy group, and based on the ones that I see from the captain's maneuver here, we will likely see another anti-ship officer, including boost to accuracy, like Kang, and boost to shield piercing like Marcus. Interestingly, because these are captain's maneuvers and the traditional anti-ship type officers are all officers' abilities, these can actually stack with those officers, making those more traditional triangle busters more valuable and increasing your anti-ship type abilities. But can it overcome the anti-ship type officers when they're combined with anti-faction? Probably not, given these small percentages. But as Big Country would say, this does give players options in their crews and may likely be of more value to newer players in the game who have not had the time to source or promote the traditional triangle busters. Now, let's get to the juicy, where Worf is actually dope, all right? This was actually part of the hint we gave in the podcast the other day. His officer ability. Oh, my goodness. Now, this is an ability worthy of Worf. Now we're talking. For the first 8 rounds of combat in PvP, Worf increases the critical hit chance of the ship by a whopping 45% at Tier 1, folks. This is an example right here of value in a Tier 1 unlock. And look at his promotional levels. Him with Khan. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Honestly, because he lasts for 8 rounds and most PvP combat is over in 8 rounds or less, he may even be a viable replacement for Khan. But watch out for Saru. Saru will have renewed importance against Honor Guard Worf if he's not stacked with Khan. Now this is a Worf ability, and I love it. This makes the card worth it, and I encourage you all to strongly consider how you plan to obtain him. Real quick, taking a look at his ranks chart. Oh, thank the Lord. An officer who's going to use Klingon faction credits and traditional command badges. And I know it sounds terrible for me to say that. DJs, I have no badges, and I don't want officers anymore that take normal badges. And I get that. I really do. But when you compare to independent credits and active nanoprobes and consider that you've been banking minor commendations for over a year now with the Disco Recruit chest, sourcing on badges is definitely better than it's been in comparison to active nanoprobes and independent credits. Of course, I'll admit those are also better, but they still have us in a chokehold. These new Borg officers are going to be putting even more priority on the fluffy assignment within away teams assignments, and I spent all my trade XP on Mud 1. Dang it. But okay. All right, let's move on. How, DJ? How am I going to source these officers? Well, duh. Isn't the answer obvious? For 2.5 years, auctions have been the answer, right? Yay! But Scopely may had been listening to a few things over the last several months. First, remember, it does take 3 to 4 months to write an arc. So when we started giving this particular piece of feedback, it's been several months ago, and now Scopely is ready to act upon it. Perhaps, Big Country, Scopely has heard you and said, would you just hold your horses, Big? We're working on it. Folks, I am so pleased to report to you a free-to-play path at fully unlocking one of these officers this month, but it will not be easy, nor will it be for the faint of heart. You will this month be able to fully unlock Borg 4 of 10 free to play, but it will require 100% full participation in any and all solo milestone events that you see present with his shards. Let me say this again. Full 100% complete participation. You cannot miss a single event that offers his shards, nor any Battle Pass events because of the Battle Pass shards, if you expect to unlock 4 of 10 free to play. Now, this I do actually think is a very fair trade-off. They value these epics highly. We've talked about that. But players continue to call for their ability to unlock them quicker. Well, Scopely says, okay, let's try it your way, folks. We're going to have information in a video in about 48 hours on the events that will heavily source 4 of 10 shards, but rest assured, you need to be ready. And yes, there will be a material spend component, so bank those materials, people. Your 4 of 10 unlock may depend on it. And I do not expect these milestones to be easy. I do not expect them to be impossible, but they're telling you up front, we're going to source you 115 shards, but you better be on point. I would expect that the milestones in these events are going to require us to really be dedicated to unlocking him. But DJ, that's just one. What about the other? Auctions, right? No. I mean, kinda. See, Honor Guard Worf may not be available true free-to-play. He will be available for grind plus the $99 Battle Pass pack. Not the $20, but the $99 Battle Pass pack. Between those shards and the Battle Pass and all SMS events, you will also be able to unlock Honor Guard Worf. Big Country, I do not see how this is not a nod to you and your sourcing plan. And I would not expect this as a new standard, but definitely Scopely is dipping their toe in the water as far as sourcing demanded by players, and I would expect that players, at least from the Talking Trek panel, will have a lot to talk about on Wednesday regarding Scopely's sourcing plan this month. That said, you can expect auctions for Honor Guard Worf for players to fast-track unlocking him or tiering him within this month, but even the auctions are going to be different this month. All I'm going to tell you at this moment is super secret special hint time. Super secret special hints for you. These auctions will not be traditional style as far as material spend. They are, of course, going to cost materials, but if I were you, I would be positioning myself to be ready to upgrade defense platforms when these auctions roll around. End of hint. This hint will self-destruct in 10 seconds. That's all you get. Is it a domination auction? No. Is it a material spend auction? No. You do the math. We've seen it before. More information will come soon, I promise. But again, I repeat, Honor Guard Worf Unlock will not require any leaderboard auctions this month. The leaderboards are extra. Have at them, folks. Now, let's talk about this month's new feature. Lordy, we've spent 15 minutes on officers and sourcing. But because I think it deserves it this month, let's keep it going. The roadmap was launched a few days ago, and talking about things on the horizon, ship cloaking was one of them. Well, surprise! It does, in fact, start with a C, and it is here, ladies and gentlemen, cloaking. But only for Romulan and Klingon ships. That's right, feds. You've had the last 15 months. Time for you to get to the back of the line. This month, a new feature just for Romulan and Klingon ships level 26 and higher. Ship cloaking will be able to be applied to warships only, so no minors. Cloaking will make your ship invisible and untargetable, basically meaning it cannot be destroyed while it is cloaked. But as is all good things, they must come to an end. And cloaking is not infinite. Each level of ship will have their own matrix of how long the cloak is going to last and how much it's going to cost. New currency called Tetrions will be introduced in this arc, but thank you, Scopes. Actually doing pretty good with feedback-centric items so far this arc. It is not mineable, it does not require grind, and will be given to you daily, just like Borg cells. There is going to be a cap on how much you can hold, so like the Borg cells, use it or lose it. All right, while you are cloaked, you are invisible to move around the map and will get a damage boost for attacking someone while you are cloaked. Of course, your cloak is going to drop at that point. As soon as you click the attack button, your cloak is gone, but you will get the attack boost for that one battle. Plus, there is a percentage chance that your attack won't even show in the battle log, which is actually a terrible idea. But nonetheless, I can see all the customer support tickets now. How did I die? There's nothing in my battle log. Yeah. Just know if you died and it's not in your battle log, chances are someone who was cloaked took you out. Oh boy, it's going to be wild. I can see this actually being very fun for some and very unfun for others, but rest assured, its use will be somewhat limited. Packs could, or maybe even probably, will be available to buy Tetrions, but I still think that there's going to be some type of cap on how many you can hold. So we're going to see how this plays out. Do keep in mind, if someone just wants to run rampant and kill everything, they're burning Tetrions every single time they hit someone. So I guess there's that. Also, you'll see on your screen here that the cloak will last till the timer runs out, or if you enter battle, or try to mine, or even dock your ship. And of course, remember from the exocomms feature, we know from past testing that the act of recalling is the same as docking. So don't press recall or your cloak will disappear. As you can see cycling on your screen, this is a style of refit, and shards will be issued throughout the month for you to unlock cloaking on your ship. They are per ship. So this gives me the assumption that we're going to be earning a generic shard that we can exchange for the specific ship that we want. Anyone remember Tracker Jackers? Yeah, I haven't seen those in a long time either. But they are kind of being reincarnated for Cloaking. Important to note that there are going to be events this month requiring you to use Cloaking. Now listen, folks, this is really important because no doubt people are going to be upset about this. By the time the first one rolls around, free-to-play will not have earned enough to unlock Cloaking. For the first run of this event, the event is premium to paying players. I know the community is going to go nuts about this, but Scopely was very, very clear in their intent. This event will not be ticketed, but is exclusively for those who have bought in early for Cloaking, a premium entry event. But it will run a total of 3 times, and for the second and third runs, you will have had the opportunity to unlock Cloaking on at least one ship, completely free to play. So again, Scopely demonstrating a smaller, more concise window when it comes to planning for early access. I repeat, all players will be able to unlock Cloaking this month free to play. All right, just not for the very first run of the event. That will be the premium entry. Again, actually not bad, Scopely. Very not bad. Free-to-play unlocking of Cloaking this month for all players. The damage bonus I mentioned earlier is going to depend on the ship and its level of upgrade, but is good for any target, be it an armada, PvP, PvE, whatever. But you only get one schwack at it. Make it count. Also, as reference, bounty hunters will not see you either, and therefore will not target you when you enter hostile space. But if you decloak, all bets are off. Watch your 6. Other updates this month, this is cool. New systems are going to present this month for Klingon and Romulan hostiles. You want to know something crazy good about these systems? Crazy stinking awesome? They are coded as faction hostiles, meaning they will satisfy dailies and faction hunts, and do not have negative reputation points. This is huge feedback-related item, and now 10 systems for each faction, Romulan and Klingon, will have hostiles that do not award negative faction rep. These hostiles will span from level 28 all the way up to 48, and their warp range accessibility will correspond to the warp range of those typical hostiles. In other news, there will be ticketed events this month, but only 3 days worth. And finally, yes, it was confirmed by Scopely that their intent on putting tickets last month in the Battle Pass was their intent. And yes, be aware, everybody, they're doing it again. They did confirm that this was to prevent server lag and optimize time management as far as writing bundles and so forth, and to ensure that players had their tickets for the most part on time. However, I issue one warning to players. This is going to require you to keep up with your Battle Pass. 100% participation is not required. But don't expect to come in on day 11 without completing a single Battle Pass event and then find your free ticket. They are being sourced in the Battle Pass milestones of the free track, and that is it. Do not expect gifts or chests. If you get tickets, you better plan the use of them wisely. Hear me, people. There will be 30 given out in various milestones, and on 3 different days, there will be ticketed entry events. If you blow them all on the first event, then you have nothing for the later ones. Be careful. Use your noggin. Folks, I maybe should have put this in the front part of the video, but you remember when I said many months ago that I bet the Enterprise D could be a skin? Yeah, I did say that. There is more information coming at a later time, but I will tell you now. All players will finally be able to wrap their hands around their very own D. In the free track of the Battle Pass, mind you, a damaged Enterprise D skin will be made available for the Ops 34 Enterprise. And in the paid track of the Battle Pass, a damaged Enterprise D skin for the level 50 Enterprise A. These skins are vanity only and do not carry any utility, but will allow you to finally fly an Enterprise D, even if it's a little bit banged up. Where's the beautiful, pristine, perfect version? We'll have information at a later date for you on that. Stay tuned for that. What if you don't own one of these ships? Well, that's okay. You'll still earn the skin so that you can unlock the skin at a later time when you do actually earn the Enterprise or the Enterprise A. Finally, do you remember earlier when I told you that auctions would not score on traditional material spend, but they were still going to cost materials? Don't stress a super huge amount. as hinted at in the show. A huge influx is expected, a huge influx of materials is expected this month, as finally, for the love of all things bright and shiny, Photon Tokens are launching this month. Photon Tokens are here. Photon Tokens are here. Photon Tokens are here. And with them comes an expected revamp of the 40+ loyalty chest. Now, before you wipe your tears of joy, do know, I have no idea how this is going to work. I don't know if it's the same model as what Rev told us about almost a year ago. I don't know if there's a cooldown. I know nothing. All I got was Photon Tokens are going live, and with them, an adjustment to the 40+ loyalty chest. That's all I got. So your guess is as good as mine on how it's going to actually deploy compared to what we were hoping for. Fingers crossed that there's no cooldowns and exactly the same way that we've seen on newer servers. But I guess we're going to find out in a few hours, aren't we? Folks, October is Duality month. And honestly, between photons, officer sourcing, and faction hostiles with 0 negative rep, I find some fantastic quality of life improvements in this arc. I'm excited to see what you think, community. Leave your comments in the section below the video, and let's get to talking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your thumbprint on the like button, smash that subscribe and bell buttons, and share with all your team that UltimatDjz, your friendly neighborhood cat person, has produced another fact-filled, fun, and entertaining Star Trek Fleet Command video. We appreciate you very meowch. And we'll see you on the next one. Meow for now. Love you, man, and see you later. Bye. Meow.